Hello, everyone, and welcome to monthly movie mini reviews with Kelly and Andrew. It is the month of July, but today we're talking about all the movies we watched in the month of May. All of them, all one of them.
Oh, one of them. Yes.
Well, two. My sister and I have been very busy, and we both watched one singular movie in May. Actually, it was probably two for Kelly because she saw Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness in May because it came out, I think, on like May 3rd. Yeah. But we talked about it in the April thing because we got our lists mixed up, whatever. Because oops. So that's going to make the recommendations really weird this week. Or this month.
I really suggest that you see this, but also just don't see it.
Yeah, see it, but don't. Watch it with your eyes closed, maybe. Okay, so the one movie I watched in May, I watched on May 20th, and it's called Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers.
Okay, so watch the one I watched. Don't watch the one brother one. That's basically.
Did you see the Rescue Ranger movie? Okay.
So no, I think we had the idea to watch it for the kids, to do like a kids slumber party, watch it type of thing. But we've tried the movie based slumber party before, and with 6 kids,
they'll watch about 20 minutes and then they're off doing other things.
Yeah, yes, exactly. So you're just like,
which is funny because I remember the beginnings of a lot of movies, but I don't remember the endings. And I like The Sound of Music. I remember like the first hour of that movie. I know now what happens, but I have like no memory of ever I think I got bored. Same thing with like Mary Poppins. A lot of Disney films. I think, well, because we were kids, a lot of Disney films on. We'd watch them for an hour and then we'd get bored because when the story would start, we'd be like, whatever.
When the conflict arose,
when the conflict arose, we're like, okay, I'm out.
It's not for me. But Nazis.
It's kind of like how Miss Marvel worked for me. I really, really love the first 2 episodes, and then in episode 3, once they start getting into the actual conflict, the actual story driving narrative with the protagonists of the show, I lost interest. Not completely, but I was like, oh my god, so good. Oh my god, so good. Not as interesting.
Okay.
But it recovered in the finale. But we're not talking about Miss Marvel.
We're not. We're sadly talking about
we're talking about Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers. Which, like Roger Rabbit, actually it takes place in the world of Roger Rabbit. So cartoons are just real actors who act in, cartoons. And they exist alongside everyone else. And Chip and Dale are 2 actors who did a Disney Saturday morning cartoon, Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers, in the 90s. And Chip is now an insurance salesman. And after the show ended, they went their separate ways. Chip is an insurance salesman.
That's awesome.
And Dale is just coasting on his fame from the show, doing the convention circuits, signing autographs and stuff.
Okay.
With with other cartoon has-beens, like I think it's not Panthera from Thundercats, but it's something like that. With some other, it's like, oh, I recognize them from the show, which was on 20 years ago or so. But so funny idea. And Dale has since had the CG surgery, so he's a full CG character instead of a cell animated character like Dale.
So in the previews for it, when I saw the clips, and there were different types of art, like depending on, there was some CG animated, there was some cell animated, like it it doesn't do well with my inner ear or vertigo or whatever that thing that causes my stomach to go, ooh, this is hard to watch. And that was just in previews. Granted, previews make things go like this, so that kind of jostling probably didn't help. Probably watching it in an actual just movie wouldn't have been so
Yeah, there's more mixes than just CG characters and cell animated characters. There's one
Rotoscope people.
there no there well there's one puppet, like a Muppet, and there's also a claymation one.
Is there anyone in black and white?
I don't think so. I don't remember anyone in black and white, but yeah, there's a nice variety. Now, the one aesthetically, one problem I have with the film is most of the 2D characters, is particularly Chip. He's actually CG. He's just cell shaded to look flat, hand drawn, and he's clearly a CG character. And I'm like, doesn't work for me. I mean, that in and of itself, I don't think really hurts the movie. I might subtract 1/10 of a point, but I'm like, nah, man, you really should have hand animated that. It feels lazy. I don't know. It just feels wrong. That I think I'd have to look at it again and look closely. Probably some of the background characters that are only there for a little bit, like the current or the previous generation of My Little Pony characters, Twilight Sparkle, Pinkie Pie Rarity, all those, you see them walk through the con at one point, and I think those might have been hand drawn. I'd have to take another look, but I mean, it's just a walk across. He-Man and Skeletor are sitting at a booth. They might be hand drawn. I'd have to look at it again, but the major players, like Chip and Monterey Jack,
anyone who has some stuff to do,
yeah, they're all CG. They're just cell shaded, they're just flat shaded to look hand drawn, and they're not. And maybe that was a budget and resources thing, but I think that was the wrong choice. I think the movie would have been better served with actually hand drawn animation. What's going on over there?
Can you hear her?
No.
I can. Please. She has drug her string over to me to play, but got caught on the leg of the table over there, and now is hollering because I'm busy and can't play string, and also her string is now caught on the table.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a lot happening, like 2 feet that way. I like the idea of all these people making like little appearances, though.
Oh yeah, it's fun. There's shame on the entertainment media for. I actually watched this the evening it came out, so it premiered on like a Thursday night or Friday night. So I watched it Thursday at midnight or whatever, just because I was up and I was like, oh, Chippendale Rescue Rangers is premiered. I saw the preview. That looks like, Roger Rabbit's up there among my favorite films, so I'll give it a watch. And I'm glad I did, because there's a really fun cameo in the movie that everyone in entertainment media just spoiled the next morning. They're like, you'll never believe who's in this movie, and they put a big picture of him on there. I'm like, oh my guys, come on.
I'm not gonna lie,
within 10 hours.
I have no idea who it is.
Well, good.
Okay.
So maybe if you ever watch the movie, you'll be like, oh, that's cute.
Is it David Hasselhoff?
No. I don't think he's in the movie anywhere, but no, it's an animated character who shows up, and it's like, oh, that's really funny. That's
Aww, cool.
Cat butt.
Clean
kitty butt. Right. We washed her sanitary area.
Yes, we did.
Let's see. Very nice.
What's this? She's like, well, take a look.
Strut.
What's the reason for this movie?
The reason for this movie is very funny to me. So here's the plot of the movie, essentially.
Okay.
Those Walmart bargain bin knockoff Disney films that are like sequels to Aladdin and The Little Mermaid, but they're clearly not made by Disney. They're made by some other company somewhere in the world who's making these weird off-model things.
Yes. And you have to really read that cover, because your kid is going to come to you being like, I want the new Snow White. And it's like White with a Y or something.
Yeah. Snow WHYTE. It's like, what? And all the seven dwarves look strangely off model. It's like when you go into Hallmark and you see a Mario tree ornament, but it's clearly not an officially licensed Nintendo product, and Mario's like weirdly off model. You get that uncanny
yeah.
valley thing going on.
Yeah.
So the main conflict of the movie is toons are getting kidnapped and they're being physically altered with, you know, ink and erasers and stuff like that, and forced to star in these knockoff Disney flicks. So they like kidnap Flounder from The Little Mermaid, and they like erase him and repaint him to make him distinct enough so that Disney doesn't sue them, and force him to star in a Little Mermaid knockoff.
That's actually pretty funny. And
that's a funny idea. But what's
funnier
is you asked what's the point of this movie?
Yeah.
The point, or what I took away from the movie,
sure,
is according to Disney, infringing on its intellectual property is akin to human trafficking. Okay. Which I find really, really funny. Because I'm not kidding, that is exactly where this movie goes. I mean, because the movie treats this whole thing like human trafficking. It's how it's presented. But thematically, what this is infringing on Disney's copyright. And I'm like, oh my God. And I can't figure out if like no one realized what they were actually saying, or if everyone realized
they
what
knew. They were like,
you know, it's like, oh no, we know exactly what we're saying here. You don't infringe on the mouse's copyright. That's the same thing as human trafficking. Sure. And honestly, that's the funniest joke of the movie to me.
Right. Well, yeah.
So is the movie good? It's okay. It's pretty funny. A good portion of the jokes land. A lot of times I feel that the jokes are over-explained, like they feel like you're just not going to get it. As an example, and this is in the trailer, so it's not a spoiler, they go to the Uncanny Valley, which is an area where a bunch of early 90s CG toons hang out. That, you know, like the era of the Polar Express, and where the animation is weird and the eye lines don't match, and there's these weird plasticky faces. And that's a hilarious idea, the Uncanny Valley. Okay, we're going to the valley. Where? The Uncanny Valley. And it's all these really bad CG characters. That's funny. That's problem funny. is the movie doesn't trust you to understand that. So they say, this is the Uncanny Valley. You remember that weird time in the early 2000s when CG characters didn't look quite right? You know, like the Polar Express. Yeah. That's where it's like, oh my God, I get it. And anyone who doesn't get it, there's other jokes coming up soon. You don't need to over-explain this. It's fine. Jeez.
That's the thing about becoming an adult, which I find fascinating, because I love becoming an adult. And finally actually understanding all those jokes that you never got. And not only just understanding the jokes that you never got, but realizing there was a joke there in the first place.
Oh, yeah.
That's the thing.
Watching Elvira, Mistress of the Dark, when I was older than 8 was revelatory to me. I was like, wow, there's jokes here I did not pick up on at all when I was, 8 or whenever that movie came out, 87, 88, 89, somewhere in there. But Chippendale Rescue Rangers.
Let that just be its own thing. And the people who get it. Hi there. And the people who don't need to.
Yeah, look,
here's wasn't for them. I'm with you on this.
It's okay if children don't get the joke, because if the parents are laughing, the children will laugh too, pretending they get the joke. Yeah. So it's fine.
So Pat taught me, because Pat taught me everything, but Pat taught me, he who last laughed didn't get the joke. But you're still laughing, and that's all that matters. All right, anyway. Please,
so a little messy. The 2D characters should have been hand-drawn. But it's fun. It's certainly not a classic like Roger Rabbit, but goodly portion of the jokes land. It's not overly long. The main plot is actually, I found funny on a number of levels. And I like the horn heavy arrangement of the Chippendale Rescue Rangers theme song.
Oh, nice.
Because they
I don't
do.
think I've heard it.
Dun, 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 dun,
Well, I mean, I know the
dun,
Rescue
dun,
Rangers
dun.
theme song, but
Yeah, but
the
they're
horn heavy one.
oh, you haven't heard. Well, you haven't watched the movie, so
Yeah.
they incorporate a full orchestral version of the Chippendale Rescue Rangers theme song into the soundtrack.
That's awesome.
They also do that thing and make a joke about it, where the end credits, they do the shitty pop cover of the Chippendale Rescue Rangers theme sung by, I don't know, Weezer or someone. It's not Weezer, but it's someone
that's incredible though. That's
and they're like, oh, you mean that thing where we go into the credits by doing a pop arrangement of the theme song when everyone just wants to hear the original? It's like, yeah, that would be stupid. And then it does exactly that, which is kind of funny, but yeah, honestly, yeah, I would rather just hear the original song from the cartoon. I don't want to hear some stupid cover of two idiots who aren't in the movie doing a whole new world. And they're great, but I just want to hear the one from the movie because that's the one I liked.
Right. It's like
I know you're trying to sell a soundtrack.
Did, Let It Go.
Yeah.
Nothing against Demi Lovato.
No, she's wonderful.
She's great.
But I want the Idina Menzel version.
I want Idina Menzel to sing
exactly.
it. So crazy.
So yeah, Chippendale Rescue Rangers. It's very okay.
It's very okay. All right. Another pretty okay movie is House of Gucci. Did I talk about this one yet with you?
No.
Yeah. Good that I'm on the correct month. So House of Gucci, here's the thing. I don't know these people, okay?
House of Gucci. Why do people keep hiring Jared Leto?
Stuff and things, man. Things and stuff.
I guess.
So
maybe he's like got something on a lot of different people.
The thing that's interesting is
I work because I blackmail half of Hollywood.
He is a great actor.
Oh, sure.
He's just, I hear,
a really terrible human being.
There it is. So, and there are other actors who I find would be just as...
Yeah, here's the thing. There are a lot of actors in the world, many of them not shitty human beings. So if you have the choice between a great actor who's a shitty human being and a great actor who's not, hire them.
And if you and honestly,
that way you don't have to work with shitty people and you don't get bad PR.
If Jared Leto is not a shitty human being, then his PR team needs to really work on that, because it's in the fact that you and I can be like, yeah, we've heard nothing but bad about this guy. It's very sad.
Look, I think my cult is being portrayed in a particularly bad light, and it's not fair.
So exactly
as opposed to, it's one of the good cults. Okay. Oh, and all your on-set behavior where you were sending, condoms and dead rats or whatever to your co-stars, I'm sure you're just misunderstood.
Yeah, absolutely.
No, you just suck as a person. So, anyway, House of Gucci.
House of Gucci. So again, let me know. I have not looked into the real
House of Gucci. Yes, Lady Gaga can act. You know this. We know this. Everyone knows this. Stop questioning it.
We all know this. Here's the thing. The performances are phenomenal.
Mm-hmm.
Phenomenal performances down the line. People, it's insane. It's a gorgeous movie to watch. It's everything technical about it. The acting is phenomenal. The costumes are phenomenal. The hair, the makeup, the art direction, the cinematography, it's a beautiful movie. Watching it in that way, it's kind of like, what was the movie with Gary Oldman? Bram Stoker.
The Fifth Element. Okay.
Oh, that's actually a good movie. But Bram Stoker's Dracula, terrible movie. But if you just take out the movie part, it's really pretty to watch.
There are things to admire about the movie.
Here's the thing about House of Gucci. And this is why I say I don't know anything about these people, because Sex on a Stick,
their products.
So Sex on a Stick, Adam Driver and Lady Gaga have a romantic relationship, because he is Maurizio and she's Patrizia, and they marry, and she hires someone to shoot him. So that's the story. I'm not giving anything away because due to the fact that it is a true to life story that Gucci's, well, this certain Gucci, Maurizio Gucci, not to be confused with all the other ones, and or what's the guy's name who has the Jeremy Irons? He's in there too. But anyways, this is what happens. She gets jealous of him, hires someone to kill him, goes to jail. She's out now, whatever. That's the story. The thing is though, is that as the movie is opening and you're learning who these people are, and I don't know if this is true to life or just somehow in this, there is zero way that Adam Driver and you're watching this love story going, this is not a love story. Like, they're not gonna, like, she knows, she meets him at a party, right? So Lady Gaga meets him at a party, he introduces himself, and her eyes go, oh, he's a Gucci, I'm gonna ride this train. And she decides right then and there, this is the train, I'm buying a ticket. And she basically accosts him into taking her out. Like, full on accosts him into taking her out. And he's kind of not, they have nothing in common. Other than the fact that he's a Gucci, they have nothing in common. He even seems very uncomfortable with her advances. And like, there are times, like, he takes it, like, there's this love montage and he takes her out into a boat and he's like rowing the boat, doing his, like, he's kind of a nerdy sort of guy, but like, you know, still Adam Driver. So you're just like, that's cool. I'll take a ticket too. Thank you. So like, he's rowing his boat and then she's like, I'm bored. You know what? I'm just going to accost him and like, you know, smush faces and stuff. And obviously, like, if Lady Gaga
sit down, you're rocking the boat.
But like, that's the thing, when you have two very attractive people, like if Lady Gaga wants to smush on you, you're kind of like, I shall stop rowing. I will, thank you for smushing on me. I'll stop. So it's like, you're not going to say no.
6 feet, Gaga, 6 feet.
So, but like their whole relationship, you're like, why do they love each other? Well, I mean, you get, so it really,
I get why they're sleeping with each other, but why do they love each other?
You get why they're bonking, but like why do they love each other? Why did they marry each other? And like, why, like, and I get her reasoning because she just is a ladder climber, and there are women like that, and she's very clear from the beginning she's a ladder climber, but it just doesn't make you feel anything for these two people when you watch their relationship blossom. And like, it makes you really dislike the character of Patrizia, which perhaps that's the point. Perhaps the entire movie, but I was hoping to get more of like, I love you so much that I can't have anyone else have you, and that's why I hired someone to kill you, rather than I love your money so much and now I don't get it and I'm just kind of going to be a spurned, you know, ex, and I want power, so now I'm going to kill you. So I guess that for me, I'm just such a sucker for like happy things. And I'm like, oh, I was really,
I can't get him in real life. I want him in the movies, gosh darn it.
Exactly. So like, that's the thing. I'm like, I was hoping it was more of like, I mean, the guy died anyways. It's tragic. She went to prison, which is good that she is out. And we can go off on how the legal system really needs to just be, you know, flipped on its table, on its, I don't know.
It could stand to be more just.
It could, because I'll always laugh. Like when I was at San Antonio. So yeah, last week when I was in Texas, and I was in the UPS store, and it said on you know, about weapons, that there are no weapons allowed in the store. If you know you're caught with a weapon, you will be fined no more, or an amount not to exceed $10,000. And I just look at that and I'm just like, why can't we exceed $10,000? Why are we putting these limits of like, that's not so much of a crime because, you know, they just had it on them, so we shouldn't exceed the $10,000 mark? No, exceed that $10,000 mark, then maybe people would stop doing things. Like when you make punishments not so severe. But anyways, that's neither here nor there. So yes, love and all that. So that's the thing. I couldn't get behind the people of the movie. It was it was an easy sit because it was beautiful. Everyone was beautiful. All the clothing was beautiful. All the sets was beautiful. It is an easy movie to watch. The performances are lovely, but you don't like anyone. You just don't like it. And except Adam Driver, who you're like, you just were a nerd who he didn't want, and that's the thing, he didn't want any of it. He didn't want, again, I don't know the real story. I don't know the real Maurizio Gucci. I don't know if maybe he truly was, but this movie specifically paints him as a man who was born into it, didn't freaking care about it, would rather have just been a student, scholar, normal dude, ready to give it all up, except hot tamale Lady Gaga comes in and he's like, well, I do have a penis. Shit. You know?
Where am I going to put this?
What am I going to do with this? So, yeah. So anyways, it makes you go, oh.
Not maybe not the reaction most creators are going for.
No, they're like,
of all the myriad ways you can react to a film, that's probably not the one anyone goes for.
They're like, we want the audience going, Well,
it's like how Susan Sarandon reacted to Brad in Rocky Horror Picture Show. He says, "Say, anyone know how to medicine?" She's like,
Very true.
All right, so
I'm gonna watch in May.
Yeah, so all right, so my recommendations. I recommend Chippendale Rescue Rangers because it's pretty funny.
Pretty okay.
And if you ever wanted a sequel to Roger Rabbit, well, here you go.
There you go.
And as for movies I don't recommend, I'd say Chippendale Rescue Rangers. It's okay, but if you never see it, I don't think you're going to die with regrets.
Right. Honestly, I think that that exact verbiage can work for House of Gucci in that, yes, it's a great movie to see, and it's good to see for the whole, especially now. Either watch it now, as in this year, 22, or don't watch it. And the reason I say that is because it's only important right now while the next Oscars haven't come, because this is one of those movies that didn't make the top, because there's like 15, 20 movies that you're like, oh, this is the pool of good movies. And then the Oscars takes these ones. And then like these 10 are sitting out there going, oh, these were the 10 movies that almost made it. And House of Gucci was one of those 10, right? That didn't quite get the love and recognition. So watch it now and see what you think. But next year, there's going to be a whole nother swath of movies that didn't get the attention. And by that, this movie will be so old and no one will care. And so there you go. If you are a big Lady Gaga fan, or who else is in it? I have it pulled up. Oh yeah, that's right. Pacino's in it. So yeah, watch it. I don't care. I have nothing.
We'll never know what you do.
I'll never know.
What do you do with our recommends? We don't know unless you leave a comment.
So yeah.
All right, so that's it for the month of May. So thanks for watching, everybody, and we'll see you back here for the month of June, which we're going to record in a couple of minutes. Yes. So, take care, everyone. Bye-bye.